So this is our third video on solving systems of nonlinear equations, and they kind of just get a little trickier as we go. I like to kind of start off by saying what potential situation do we got going on here. We got ourselves a circle and a hyperbola. So I suppose the situations that could happen is if we have a circle, you could have your hyperbola kind of cross at 4 different spots on the inside. I suppose it could graze it on each side. It could not cross it at all. It could graze it on one side but not the other, so maybe there's possibility for 3 solutions. I don't know. So just to kind of see that we could get up to 4 answers or 0 answers potentially. So let's just do the math. And then we'll do a visual to kind of double check some stuff. So good news is we could do elimination because you got x squares lined up, y squares lined up, and in fact the y squares are already going to cancel without us having to do anything. So we'll just put it together. So y squares will go away. We'll add that together. You're going to get a 2x squared equaling 18. Divide by 2. X squared is going to equal 9. Square root both sides, so you're going to get x is going to be plus or minus 3. All right, so we'll take that, plug it in. So if x equals 3 and x equals negative 3, I like the plus. So if I plug it into this top equation, we're going to have 3 squared, which we already know is 9. So 9 plus y squared equals 9. And then here, when you square negative 3, you still get a 9 plus y squared equals 9. So we'll subtract 9 on both equations. So we're looking at y squared equaling 0. If we square root, we're going to get a 0. So here you would also get y squared equals 0. Square root, y is going to equal 0. So our coordinate is 3, 0, and negative 3, 0. So the circle and the hyperbola only cross each other at 2 spots is what we're getting at here. So let's try and graph this. So if we're graphing a circle, this is your r squared, so that means your radius is 3. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3 in all directions. Great. And then just a quick review of how to graph the hyperbola is we'd have x squared minus y squared equaling 9. You'd want this to equal 1, so you divide by 9 on every single piece. And then you'd have x squared over 9 minus y squared over 9 equaling 1. And then this is your a squared. So a squared would equal 9, which means a would equal 3. So that means we're going to build a box for our hyperbola because it's going to kind of have that look to it. And we're going to go from the center. Our center is at 0, 0 because there's no plus or minus mixed in here. And we're going to go from 0, we're going to go out 3 left and right. And then if your b squared is 9, that makes your b value 3. So we'll go up and down 3. So we're building a box around the circle. And then we have to figure out if the box lines up our asymptotes. And then I got to figure out if this is a horizontal or a vertical. And the way I know that is if the x is positive and you're subtracting the y's, that means it's horizontal. So our graph is going to hug the asymptote, break off, hit the vertex, and then come around. So asymptote, break off, hit one of the vertices, and then come back. So there is the point that they cross each other, and that's not a coincidence that that's the solution to it. All right, so that was our third systems of equations, and we have one more.